I still remember the first day I saw her on the street. It was one of those hot Abuja afternoons when the air feels like it's pressing down on you. I was buying oranges from a hawker near was market when I noticed a tall, light-skinned girl standing by the roadside with a tray of bottled water. She was sweating, her makeup half melted, and her eyes kept darting around like she didn't belong there. At first, I didn't believe it was her. The same girl I had seen on Instagram in Dubai last month. The same girl who used to post pictures in designer clothes, sitting in her father's private jet. Everyone in Abuja knew her father, CEO of one of the biggest construction companies in the country. They were untouchable. Or so we thought. That day, she wasn't wearing Gucci. She was wearing a faded t-shirt and a wrapper tied around her waist. Her nails, once always polished, were chipped and dirty from handling coins. I bought a bottle of water from her just to be sure. And when she looked up at me, yes, it was her. But the bigger question was, how on earth did the CEO's daughter end up hawking on the streets of Abuja? Before everything went wrong, her life was the definition of luxury. I wasn't close to her back then, but Abuja is small. You hear things. People saw her at Transcorp Hilton almost every weekend. She drove flashy cars, sometimes her father's Range Rover, sometimes her own Lexus. She wore wigs worth more than my yearly rent. She didn't just live well, she lived above reality. Private jets to Lagos for a friend's birthday. Summer holidays in Paris. If she wanted something, she got it. And she didn't just get it, she got the most expensive version of it. Her father, Chief Adeyemi, had built an empire in construction. His face was in the news almost every week. New projects, political connections, charity donations. People respected him, feared him, and envied him. His family was untouchable, the kind people pointed at and whispered about. Looking back now, I think that was part of the problem. No one ever imagined they could fall. Not them. Not her. But it turned out, even the highest tree can be brought down with the right axe. And for her family, that axe came fast and without mercy. It happened like lightning, quick, bright, and destructive. One morning, the news broke. The EFCC had arrested Chief Adeyemi for fraud, embezzlement, and bribery. Billions of naira gone, projects abandoned, government contracts under investigation. The kind of news that makes headlines for weeks. I heard that same day their accounts were frozen. Properties seized. Cars taken away. Even the house in Asokoro was sealed. His wife, her mother, fled to London with her younger brother. But she stayed in Abuja. Some people said she refused to leave because she believed the whole thing would blow over. Others whispered that she had nowhere to go. Her mother's family didn't want to take her in, and her friends vanished overnight. It's funny how quickly rich people disappear when your money runs out. All those friends who used to post BFF under her pictures stopped picking her calls. People who used to smile at her in public now pretended not to see her. That's when I realized, losing money is one thing. Losing your place in society is another. And for her, that was just the beginning. I wasn't there the first time she hawked, but I heard the story from Mama Aisha, a roadside food seller who had seen it happen. Apparently, she had shown up in a clean but obviously second-hand t-shirt, carrying a tray of chilled bottled water. People stared. Some laughed. Some even took pictures. A few men tried to joke with her, asking if she was filming a movie. She didn't know how to shout prices or call customers the way real hawkers did. She stood there quietly, waiting for someone to approach her like they would in a shop. When nobody did, she went home that day with most of the water still in her tray. By her second day, she'd learned to shout, "Bottle water. Cold bottle water. 100 naira." Even then, her voice cracked, and she looked uncomfortable. But hunger has a way of forcing you to adapt. From there, she started staying longer hours under the sun. She learned to chase moving cars, to balance her tray with one hand while giving change with the other. It was humiliating for her, but the street doesn't care about your pride. By her third week, she wasn't just surviving, she was learning. Street hawking in Abuja has its own rules. The hawkers call it the code. Rule 1. Never stand too close to someone else's spot. That's war. Rule 2. Respect the elders, the older hawkers who've been there for years. They control the prime selling corners. Rule 3. Never fight in front of customers. It kills business. She learned most of this from Ibrahim, a tall, dark man who sold gala and soft drinks nearby. Ibrahim had been hawking for almost 10 years, and everyone respected him. He showed her where to buy stock at a cheaper price, how to spot fake money, and how to keep a few naira hidden away in case of trouble. It was strange to see her laugh sometimes with the other hawkers. She started sharing food with them, learning Hausa phrases, and even joking about her old life. But I could see the change in her eyes. They weren't as proud as before. She still had pride, but now it was mixed with something else, survival. Hawking looks easy from the outside, but it's not. Abuja sun can burn your skin until it peels. You stand for hours, running after cars that might not even buy anything. And sometimes, the police or task force will come and scatter everyone, seizing your goods. She faced all of that. I remember one day, it rained heavily. The streets were muddy, and traffic was slow. She slipped while crossing to the other side of the road, and the water bottles rolled into the gutter. She sat there in the rain, trying to fish them out. Another time, a man pretended to be looking for change and ran off with her money. She chased him until her slippers tore, but he was gone. There were days she went home with nothing. Days she sat alone by the roadside, crying quietly. I saw her once wiping her tears with the back of her hand, the same hand that used to hold champagne glasses at fancy parties. Still, she kept coming back. That's when I knew she wasn't just trying to survive, she was fighting. It happened on a Friday. A man in a black Prado stopped near her. She ran up with her tray, but instead of buying water, he asked, "Aren't you Adeyemi's daughter?" She froze. She said yes, but her voice was steady. The man smiled and said, "I knew your father. I'm sorry about what happened. You're stronger than most people I know." Then he bought the entire tray, every single bottle, paid double. And as she stood there in shock, he said, "Don't give up. The streets are hard, but they also teach you things no university can." I think that day changed her. She started carrying herself differently, not like a rich girl pretending to be poor, but like someone who understood both worlds. She began selling more, earning more. People respected her hustle. Some even came just to buy from her because they'd heard her story. Months passed, and she was no longer just the CEO's daughter. She was Aisha Water, the nickname the hawkers gave her. She had her own customers, her own selling corner, her own routine. She could negotiate prices better than most market women. She dressed simply but clean. She started saving money, little by little. She also made real friends, not the Instagram kind, but people who would share their last meal with her. She knew hawkers who slept under bridges, women who carried babies on their backs while selling groundnuts, boys who sold phone chargers in traffic. Her old life seemed far away, but I could tell she had found something money couldn't give her before, a sense of belonging. One day, a woman stopped to buy water from her. They started talking. Turns out, the woman ran a small catering business and needed someone reliable to handle deliveries. She offered her the job on the spot. At first, she was hesitant. Hawking was hard, but it was hers. Still, The idea of regular income and not running after cars was tempting. She took the job. And just like that, her life shifted again. She kept in touch with the hawkers, visiting sometimes to give them cold drinks. She never forgot where she came from, both the high and the low places. It's been 2 years now since I first saw her by the roadside. She's doing well in her catering job, even started her own small side business. She's not rich like before, but she's stable. When I asked her once if she'd ever want her old life back, she smiled and said, "I don't want the old life. I want the new me." Watching her taught me something. Life can strip you of everything you think you need, but it can also give you things you never knew you were missing. Strength, humility, true friends. And whenever I see her now, I don't think of her as the CEO's daughter who fell. I think of her as the girl who stood back up.